Hello everyone, I'm Aishwarya. I'm back with another interesting video today. So in this video, we're going to discuss about Gregor Mendel's laws. So Gregor Mendel is a person who is a father of genetics. He has conducted a lot of experiments on pea plants. I think now you're getting it out, like why he has done a lot of experiments on pea plants. So the reason for this is that he has conducted a lot of experiments on pea plants because pea plants show contrasting characteristics, which means there are pea plants which has a different pod color, they have different pod shape, they have different size of the plant, the flower position is completely different, and these are bisexual flowers, which means both self and cross pollination is possible. And these are the annual plants. So they have various contrasting characteristics. So this is the reason he has chosen pea plants over many other plants to conduct his experiments. Okay, so without much delay, let us understand one of his laws called law of dominance. And in the next videos, we'll understand other laws of Mendel. So in this video, we are focusing specifically on law of dominance. Okay, so law of dominance over here again, as I've said, that pea plants show contrasting characteristics, right? So bisexual flowers, annual plants, and all. So these are the reasons he has chosen pea plants for to conduct his lot of experiments. So without much delay, let us start talking about law of dominance. So he says that in law of dominance, he states that in a heterozygous genotype, only one allele gets expressed, which means which means there is another allele which gets masked, which will not be expressed because of another allele. So the allele which gets expressed is called as a dominant allele, and the allele which do not get expressed is called as a recessive allele. So recessive allele being masked by another allele called the dominant allele. So let us understand this with another example. So over here, you can see that Mendel has crossed a tall plant with a dwarf plant. Okay, so he has crossed, what are the plants he has crossed? So there is a cross between a tall plant and a dwarf plant. The genotype of tall plant is capital T and capital T, and the genotype of a dwarf plant is a small t and small t. So again, I'm using these words called genotype and genotype. So what is mean by genotype? So genotype is a genetic makeup of an organism, which is nothing but the genes that code for a characteristic or for a trait. So here, the tall plant's genotype is capital T and capital T, and the dwarf plant genotype is small t and small t. So when he has crossed between a tall plant and a dwarf plant, what do you think we'll get in the project? We generally tend to think that maybe it's because it is between tall and dwarf plant. We tend to say that it must be a medium height plant. But to our surprise, it is not the case. So in the first generation, all the plants that he got were tall plants. Isn't it amazing, everyone? How come it is possible? It's because these tall plants are the dominant trait. The tallness in the pea plant is a dominant trait. That's why the dominant trait has masked the recessive trait, which is a dwarf plant, from being expressed. So thus, in the first generation, it is all tall plants over medium or short plants. So you can also, on the other side, I have typed it that the genotypes of homozygous tall, heterozygous tall, and homozygous dwarf plant as well. Okay, so these are the genotypes of homozygous tall, heterozygous tall, and homozygous dwarf plant. Let us also look at another day-to-day life example to understand it a little better. Okay, so you might have come across people who are having both attached and free earlobe, right? Like, I mean, they are having either attached or free earlobe. So, like the way I have asked my students, like, how many of you are having attached earlobe and how many of you are having free earlobes? You know what? Out of my 54 students, I got like 46 of them are having free earlobes, and only 8 of them are having attached earlobe. So which one is dominant here? I think you already got the answer, right? It is the free earlobe which is dominant. That's why it has been expressed in a large number than the attached earlobe. So thus, the attached earlobe is a recessive trait and free earlobe is a dominant trait. So dominant traits mask the recessive trait from being expressed. So that is about law of dominance. We'll meet next time with another interesting video. Thank you.